Welcome to the very first day episode show of Ask Nerdy. My name is Colby Sharp. I am a fifth grade teacher in Michigan, and I am here with
Donalyn Miller. Oh, I thought you were going to say my name.
Oh, that was
See,
me throwing
we've
it to
already
you.
got our first blooper. We're only like 20 seconds in. That's good. I'm Donalyn Miller. I'm a former teacher in Texas, and I now work with teachers and librarians all over the place.
And we are two of the co-founders of the Nerdy Book Club, which we run with Cindy Minnick and our friend, and another friend, Catherine Sokolowski. And we have been thinking a lot about Nerdy Book Club and the future of Nerdy Book Club and how Nerdy Book Club can continue to serve educators. So I thought it'd be fun to start, Donalyn Miller, with the origin story of the Nerdy Book Club. Can you share that?
Oh, I've told this story so many times. Do I have to? Okay,
Yes.
I will. Okay, so, and you will correct me if my memory is flawed.
For sure.
But we met in 2011. In the summer of 2011, you were doing Book a Day with me online, and we met online. And then you covered for a friend as the co-host of Title Talk with me for a couple of months. So we were already doing things online. We'd never met in person. And then we met in person at NCTE's annual conference in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with Catherine Sokolowski, and we were talking about how so many of the books that we love to read and that our students love to read were not the books that showed up on some award list at the end of the year. You know, and we could name many, many books that we just felt like didn't get enough love or attention, but our students really loved them, but they were not, you know, there's so many of the awards that are given out for children's and young adult literature that kid appeal is not one of the criterion when they're looking at the award. And that may surprise some people, but they're looking at it for other things. And so we just kind of laughed, you know, and said, well, why don't we just make up one? And then we can see if teachers and librarians online will nominate books for it, you know, and we could start a WordPress blog and we could make a name for it. And we had already been using the Nerdy Book Club hashtag a little bit kind of as a joke all summer long already. If you remember, I think some of the tweets from that, stopped at 3 bookstores on my way home from school, hashtag Nerdy Book Club. That would have been an example of one of our original tweets before the blog even started. So we just started a WordPress blog, and we opened it up and asked people to start nominating books for the first annual Nerdies, the Nerdy Awards. And then we were thinking, well, okay, we're going to give people a couple of weeks to nominate books. We should probably put something on that blog that we just started. So we just started asking friends to write essays, really, to write blog posts for us. And people like Kathy Burnett and people like Catherine and people like Terry Lassane, you know, people who were some of the original posters from that first month or so at the blog. And it got away from us fast. That's what I remember, my friend, is like you and I thought, oh, this will be this little thing. And, you know, a couple hundred people will participate. And we had thousands of people reading the blog after the first month. And we begged Cindy to come help us. That's what I remember. She was nice. She didn't make us beg her that much. But I remember calling her, you and I, we had a 3-way conference call with her just saying, please help us. We need help with the blog. And that's really how it got started. And Catherine helps now coordinate with teachers. We've had 1,000 people write for us, maybe more since the blog started in 2011. And I think it's been people of all walks of life. Yes.
Absolutely.
Teachers, librarians, administrators. We've had several posts from administrators that have been extremely popular. Kids, we've had classrooms of kids write with their teachers. We've had a lot of authors, illustrators, editors, all writing for the blog. And I think it's been a great community for people to kind of unite around this idea. I mean, we're all from different backgrounds. We all teach in different spaces. Some of us are parents, some are grandparents, some are community, you know, active in their communities. but we all care about engaging young people with reading. We care about their reading lives. That's the
Absolutely.
one thing, and we also celebrate children's and young adult literature, and that around those things we can come together and make the nerdy community. And I think there's space for everyone there.
Yeah, and it grew into a live nerd camp in Michigan that went on for 7 or so years, and then other nerd camps popping up all over the country, all of these different live events. Because what we know is readers love being with other readers, teachers love being with other teachers, and it's this community that has been so helpful to us, and from what we've heard countless times, so helpful to so many other people. I think we went 6 or 7 years running a blog post every single day, never missing a day. And over the last few years, it's been kind of hard on Nerdy, like it's been kind of hard for all teachers with the pandemic. We don't really feel as comfortable asking teachers to write during this really, really difficult time of teaching. And we have just been trying to kind of like get our families through these really difficult times. And but I think, Donalyn, I don't mean to speak for you, but I am ready to like get back to all of the learning, get out of that survival mode, while I still feel like we are in a place where a lot of people are unfortunately getting sick. I miss that moving forward, and I miss that learning that the nerdy community helped me so much. So I'm excited to talk about some of the next steps with Nerdy Book Club tonight with you.
Well, I think you and I are always looking for ways where we can support teachers or we can support librarians, and also we're not done learning. And we get as much out of that community as learners, I think, too, as we give. That's one of the great things about all of us being in community together. But we haven't been able to have nerd camps, and we haven't been able to have some of those NCTE gatherings, or even some of the online gatherings that we used to have. And I think that there's still an opportunity there for us to include more voices and conversations and other ways for teachers to share with each other besides blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
And so how can the nerdy community evolve in that way too? And I think we came up with something. I mean, this is how the blog started. This is how I feel about this. Like, we thought of this, 2 days ago.
We really decided yesterday.
We really solidified it with a Voxer with Catherine and Cindy like 2 days ago.
And you and I meet every Tuesday during my lunch, and we talk about, last year we talked about the book, The Common Sense Guide to Your Classroom Library, that we wrote. And now we've just been talking about how hot it is in Texas, how cold it is in Michigan, and then a little bit about next steps with the Nerdy Book Club.
And but this is how the blog started, right? I mean, we just kind of went YOLO. Why not? I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, okay, well, what did we learn? We learned something from that. And I think that spirit is kind of what the blog has always been about.
Absolutely.
So I think, I mean, one of the great things about the nerdy people is that we can all feel like we can fail a little bit. So, we can fail, and we can all still kind of support each other, and so if this doesn't work, we'll just try something else, right? That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think
But it's gonna work.
The community is still there, and we miss each other. So what we're going to try is this new concept that we are calling Ask Nerdy, because we want to know what questions you have. What do you want to learn? What are you questioning? What are you struggling with? What do you need to go to the next level in connecting kids with books and in your teaching? So we've created a form, and talk a little bit about the form, Donalyn.
Well, it's just really what do you want to know? What questions do you have? We're all striving in our spaces to engage kids with reading. There are a lot of challenges and pitfalls in many schools, in many communities right now with that. Access issues, censorship issues, instructional concerns, lots of teachers concerned about their students' social and emotional learning right now. How is all of that into the mix affecting your ability to connect them with books? What are you curious about? And really, Colby and I don't know all the answers, but here's one of the things. we know a lot of really smart people.
Yes, we do.
And so we don't have to know anything. We don't have to know anything. Honestly, all we have to do is just like create this space and then just invite people to come participate with us. So I think that's one of the most exciting things about this, because we are doing it virtually in this way. Colby, really anybody could join us anytime. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so we'll put wherever you're watching this or listening to this, we'll put the link to it. But the link is tinyurl.com/ask nerdy, and it's just a couple question form, just your name, email address, and what question you have for nerdy. And then I'll get an email with the questions. Donalyn and I will sit down on Tuesdays and kind of cipher through them and see if there's some that we can maybe help find the answer to. And this is not going to be the Colby and Donalyn, the Donalyn and Colby show. Sometimes for this Ask Nerdy content, it will be Donalyn and I talking. Sometimes it'll just be Donalyn. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's Cindy. Maybe it's Catherine. It could be anyone in the Nerdy Book Club community that we invite in to help us. And it's not just going to be videos. What else are we going to do besides the videos, Donalyn?
It could be you. It could be you. I mean, the nerdy ethos is that everyone has value and voice in our community. And all we are excited about is just having this space. I mean, really, I'm just giddy about how much I'm going to learn, to be honest, from all of you. So it might be you who's joining us. And I've already seen a few names scroll up here, Mr. Sharp, that I think we could invite.
Yep. So with answering these questions, it might be one of these live stream videos, which we will be then turning into the Ask Nerdy podcast. So you'll be able to listen to it on your way to work, or just while you're working in your classroom or in your home. Or it could be a question that we're like, oh man, that would be a great top 10 list. And maybe we'll ask one of our nerdy friends to write a blog post, or maybe it's a pay it forward where we get one of the people in the nerdy community to write to that question to help you write about that question, to answer that question to the best way that they can. So we're really excited to get what you want. And that's what we did at the very beginning, right, Donalyn? We put a form out there and we asked what people wanted. And those were the types of blog posts that we ran. Mm-hmm. And we want to do the same thing here. We want to know what help you need. What questions do you have? How can we serve you?
Who would you like us to talk to?
Yeah.
Who would you like us to talk to? We might be able to talk to them. And we've talked to a lot of teachers. We're very lucky, Colby, that we get to do that, to talk to so many teachers outside of just our space. And it's as challenging to be an educator right now as it has ever been. Mm-hmm. And I just think one of the ways we get through things that are so challenging is community. It's community. And a lot of communities have been fractured and divided over the past couple of years. So how can we come together in a community to support one another and to celebrate each other too? That's part of it. Is I think a lot of the teachers and librarians and administrators I talk to right now, what they want is some validation. They want some affirmation that they know what they're doing, that there is another group of like-minded educators out there who are striving to do the same things. And I think that's another way that we can just support one another in community. The questions and the conversations give us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for all of the learning that we're all going to do together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So please consider filling out that survey or that form if you have any questions. If there's anything that you want the Nerdy Book Club community to answer, tinyurl.com ask nerdy. We're going to get the podcast up. That should be up really soon. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you so much for listening. We hope that you'll subscribe so that you can get notified anytime that we post a new one there. We're also going to be posting all of these eventually on a Nerdy Book Club YouTube channel. They're currently on my YouTube channel, the Colby Sharp YouTube channel, but we'll get them moved over there one thing at a time. Any final thoughts, Donalyn Miller?
And I'm just excited that I get another reason to talk to you, Mr. Sharp. I know that this is going to be a wonderful experience for everyone who wants to join us. I'm really looking forward to it. And thanks to all of you who just popped in right now to listen to this live.
Yeah, it means the world to us. This community has given us so much, and we hope that we can give just half a fraction of what you've given to us. We hope that we can give to you, and that we can help you in the really important and really difficult work that you do. We thank you for being teachers and librarians and amazing human beings. Thank you for tuning in to the very first edition of Ask Nerdy. We look forward to being back to you very soon. Have a wonderful night or wonderful day.
Thanks.
Thanks, friends.